And just like that, you're live. Hello there, everybody out in YouTube land. Whew. All right, I'm going to shut this off. I don't need to record myself recording myself. That's done. Oh, man. Give it a minute to see if anybody shows up. I'm all hot and sweaty. I've been working. Getting stuff done on the boat. Getting stuff done on my boat. Working on my boat. How cool is that? Working on my boat. Oh man, I just made a mess of the boat too. I got materials and sawdust and tools lying all over the place. I'm making a bit of a mess in here. Got some cool stuff today. Bought a new fuel filter. Found a local guy here that has some, so I got one of them. $12.97. Bought me a new paddle lock for my boat, so I can secure it because I can now secure it. When I first looked at the boat was all foobar. I mean, that board there on the ground, that is the better half of the part that was on the doorway. The rest of the bottom of it's just completely rotted away. So today I just went ahead and made myself a new one. See it there? Just made that just here moments ago. I know it's butt ugly and it's not fancy and all that kind of happy horse shit. Hey, Rotten Ronnie, there's a new name. Glad to see you. But what it is, it's just a temporary fix. I needed to be able to secure the way. I needed to keep the rain out immediately, and I need to be able to secure it. And this board will work temporarily for that. Hey, Keeler, how you doing, man? What I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to get someplace where I have a better selection of woods available. I'd like to see if I could find some teak plywood or possibly some mahogany plywood. I'll probably find mahogany over teak. But I'll remake this panel once I get someplace that has some better material. And that way I can make a nicer looking secure door. This is just a little cheap piece of crappy plywood. Hey Carl, congratulations on the boat. You sound really happy. Well done. I am super happy, man. Hey Carrie, how you doing? Nice to see you here. I am beyond happy, guys. I am like over the moon right now, you know. Hey Mike Mayfield, how you doing? Pulling for me. That's awesome, man. Vid is a little choppy. Well, because I was moving the camera around a lot, maybe. Is it choppy now? Because it's just sitting here on the table nice and still. This should not be choppy. If it is, let me know, but I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I'm uploading this live stream with my cell phone, so it is what it is. But yeah, when I move the phone around, my cell phone doesn't like filming when I make fast movements and stuff. It takes a moment for the camera, not a good quality camera, so not choppy, okay. Could be my internet. Well, okay, yeah, that certainly could be your internet. Try refreshing, sometimes that helps. So, well, this morning I got up here early. It is raining up here in Sandusky, Ohio. But I knew I needed to get this job done. I needed to go ahead and make this new companionway door, and I got that done. I bought a new engine start battery, so it's out in my truck right now. I got to carry it up the ladder to get it up here. I'm not relishing the idea of doing that because it's one heavy son of a gun, and it's about everything that ladder can do to haul my fat butt up here without adding the battery to it. How much have you done today? You know, Mike, I just made the companionway hatch, and I filmed it all. So I'll put together a proper video of it so you can see me doing it. There's the hatch. You can see it sitting here, and I put the latch from the old hatch. That's the latch from the old hatch. I recycled that and put it back on the new hatch. As you can see, I've got my tools all laid out on the counter, wood laying everywhere and sawdust everywhere. But, you know, it's just a way of it. And, of course, I don't have a broom on the boat, so I'm just I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I was going to pick up a little shop vac. I have to pick up a little shop vac, I guess, so the sawdust can just stay there for a little bit. It's fine. It won't hurt anything. I got to pick up the scrap pieces of wood and throw all that out, though. Let's see. So I made this door. I did a lot of errand running mostly this morning, trying to track down an impeller for the Perryman, the Perryman A30 diesel. They're hard to find parts for, apparently. We had to order them. And so I have them on order and they're coming. Oh, and I installed a magnesium zinc on the drive shaft. So I've got a, well, it's not a magnesium zinc, duh. That's two different elements. A magnesium anode on the drive shaft. I actually ordered an aluminum and a zinc diode as well. They don't have them available up here on Lake Erie, apparently. They only have the magnesium ones because that's what they use in freshwater. But I went ahead and ordered one of the other two. And what I'm going to do, it's really good. Hey, Joe Peak, how you doing, man? It's really going to be overkill, but I'm going to put all three zincs on the drive shaft at the same time. Now, what that does efficiently protects me from those three metals. It'll protect me for zinc, for aluminum, and for magnesium. So it'll protect those three elements in the engine and all the rest of the components. But what I think will be an interesting story is I'm going to be in fresh water for probably 2, maybe 3 months. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, man? I'm going to be in fresh water for 2 or 3 months, and I want to be able to kind of show you guys. I can take my GoPros and stuff underwater, so I can show you guys what kind of wear they're getting in the fresh water after a couple months, if any. And then once we get to the salt water, we'll see what 2 months in the salt water does to them, and the differences between the magnesium, the zinc, and the aluminum. Now, what I rather imagine is going to happen is that magnesium is going to get eaten up really quickly. I think the zinc will probably be the next one that'll be eaten up quickly, and then maybe the aluminum, or maybe the aluminum zinc, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that magnesium one's going to go very quickly. $20 for that. Now, I will say this, though. I was at Worst Marine yesterday, and it was $29 at Worst Marine. And at the store I went to today, I bought it for $20. I found the guy here at this marina. This marina, by the way, is awesome. Deep Creek Marina here in Sandusky. These guys are just absolutely awesome. Let me borrow a ladder. They're putting up with all my shit coming and going and stuff. They're really cooperative, helping me find stuff. You know, the guy drove over there and had me follow him over to the place so I could find the place where I was able to buy affordable boat parts. So I ended up paying $20 for a magnesium zinc for a 1-inch shaft, a magnesium anode for a 1-inch shaft, as opposed to $29 at Worst Marine. What else did I spend money on? I bought, I don't know, you can check their prices. I bought a tube of 5200 sealant for $18.97. I bought a little lock for $6.97. And I bought a Wix 33-166 for $12.97. I thought those prices were pretty reasonable. They also, the lady was telling me that the aluminum and the zinc anodes are both like, $5, $6 a piece. That's all they are. They're pretty cheap. So I'm kind of glad I found that place. They're a good resource. Now the motor, the battery that I bought, is a dual-purpose battery. It's for engine start, but also house battery. It's sort of a deep cycle type battery. From what I understand, they make a pretty good battery, and it was $160, so that was a little spendy. But it looks like a really nice, robust battery. I just gotta figure out how to get it up here. The deck of the boat's probably 12 to 14 feet off the ground, so it takes a pretty good ladder to get me up here so that I can do stuff, and I got to figure out some way of dragging that battery up. Because I'd like to try testing the motor. I'm going to bring a bucket of water up here as well. Another thing, I'll just drop a rope over the side, I guess, and try doing it that way. I don't have a boom or the mast up yet, so I can't, use a pulley or something like that to pull it up. It's just going to be hand over hand dragging it up by a rope. And that, the bucket of water won't be too bad, but that battery, I bet you that son of a gun weighs like 90 pounds. It's heavy. That's a heavy battery, so I'll figure it out. Anyhow, I just wanted to get on here and do a live stream today, let you guys know I'm up and around. Hey, Philip English, how you doing, man? I am on my boat, Philip. I am on my boat. I'm working on my boat today. So A couple pieces of good news that happened last couple of days. I found out that the guy that I bought the boat from has already paid the cost of putting the boat into the water this spring. So I don't have that cost. And the marina here is going to step my mast for me for all of $50. They're gonna stand it up and rig it up and connect all the cables and tighten it down, and I'll have it all set and ready to go. The guy I'm buying the boat from is going to come over and meet us on that day. He'll help get it rigged and set up, and we'll get the sails up on it. So the boat will be completely functional and completely operational. So, oh, one thing that was sort of interesting, I got a comment from one of my viewers. They reminded me, and I had forgotten this, that Aubrey from Selling Miss Lone Star, her little miss, her little boat that she bought for $1 was also a sister ship to this. It's a Cal 229, almost an identical boat. Perryman diesel and all, except her diesel didn't work. So mine does work, supposedly. We'll find out. It supposedly works. So, the guy guaranteed it's going to work. So he's going to come here and we're going to put it in the water, and it's going to guarantee we work. How much are slip fees where you are? Clint, I plan on leaving here sometime as close to the 1st of May as I can. That might get delayed because I had to order some stuff and it's going to take some time to get here and be delivered. So that might hang me up a little bit. But the marina here charges $500. Let me see. It's $150 a month, roughly. He gave me a figure. I don't remember what it was. It was like $500 or $600 for the summer to keep a boat here at this guy's marina. And then the same price to put the boat up on the hard and store it here all winter. And then there's, I think it's $125 in the spring and $125 in the fall for stepping and unstepping the masts and pulling the boat out and putting the boat in. So yeah, really not bad. Very affordable. Very affordable. So, and of course, I've been looking around here. Now that I've been up here for a couple of days, I've been kind of looking around. And there are some interesting things, some stories to tell about Sandusky. The other day I did a live stream from the original Margaritaville restaurant here in Sandusky, Ohio. They actually opened up that Margaritaville restaurant before Jimmy Buffett started building his. So it is, in fact, the original Margaritaville. It was a Margaritaville before any of Jimmy's were. Good deal, slip fee for $30 in the South Florida is $500 a month. Yeah, I know, Clint. I know. So I think it's a pretty good deal. The marina is kind of rough. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of fancy facilities or anything like that, but it'll do. It'll do. So it will most definitely do. Anyhow, so I was over at Jimmy Butt, and I thought the Margaritaville was pretty cool. And I just saw today there's a merry-go-round museum. That might be fun to go look at. It has nothing to do with sailing, fishing, scuba diving, or any other things that I'm doing, but, I'm here and it's within walking distance of where I'm at, so I might walk over there, although I don't know if I'm going to have the time. I'm going to be pretty busy working here on the boat on everything. I'm sorry if I'm distracted, but I'm still kind of looking around and finding and looking at everything on the boat. I was just thinking there's really no place for my library. I have a bunch of books. There's this little rack thing behind me here, but it's not going to hold anything. Hey, Mary, how are you today? Fun chatting with you this morning in the wee hours. I got up early, and Mary had emailed me last night, and I sent her an email back at 4 a.m. I think I woke her up. So sorry about that if I did, Mary. My bad. But, what else I got to do today? I got to figure out getting the bed. I'm closing off all the through holes today. Are those scary looking hornets? Yeah, there's some scary looking hornets outside right now. Summers are better up north. I live on Gulf Coast. Be up in Maine for 4 months starting June. I've got to look at my schedule. I really was thinking about taking my sweet butt time across the Great Lakes and even the Erie Canal and down the Hudson. But I've been talking to some folks who've done it, and they're telling me it may be hard for me to spend that much time in there just because, you just move on. You move along. So there's a good possibility I might end up down in New York City in a month, instead of in 2 months or less or more. There's no fixed schedule whenever I get there. But if I get down there that early, I was thinking, maybe I would go up the coast a little bit. It's going to be hot in New York in the summer. Maybe go up around Connecticut and, over to Martha's Vineyard. I've been over there on a boat before. My buddy Howie and Frank, we went over there in Martha's Vineyard on boats. I don't know. Maybe go up to Maine. It's an open book, guys. It's an open book. In fact, I have a Patreon account. If you click on the links to, I don't know, maybe this video or some of the others, there should be a link to the Patreon account. Those people who are patrons of mine are going to be able to give me some guidance and decide which way they'd like to see me go. Love the Cape for sailing. Yeah, around Cape Cod, that would be awesome. That would be a lot of fun. Go up to Maine and get some lobster. They have the Lobster Festival in August up there. Locks cost money to go through. No, Casey, yes, they do. Yes, they do. The locks cost, there are fees for transiting the canal. However, 2018 is the 100th anniversary of the opening of the canal, and so it's all free on 2018. So I don't have to pay anything to go through the locks or down the canal this year. It's all free because of the centennial. So it'll be interesting to see what events they may have going on as a result of that. I'm hoping they have some things that might be fun to cover. But no, it's not going to cost me anything to do the Erie Canal this year. I don't know what it would normally cost, but it's not going to cost me anything. Now, it will cost me about $120 to pull the mast once I get over to Buffalo. Money I don't have right now. And it will cost me $120 roughly when I get over to Troy, New York. Although there's a gin pole at a marina there in Troy, New York, where I can just do it myself. I don't know if I'm quite that bold yet. It's really not a one-man job. But, maybe I could get someone there to help me. So, yes, guys, please do hit like and please do subscribe. Canal would be fun. Did it in 2014. Stayed free at docks. Oh, the chat moves along too fast. Very cheap. Yeah. Actually, some of the docks don't even charge. As you said, they stayed free. So, my expenses going forward, once I get the boat in the water and I pull out of here, my expenses are really going to be quite minimal. I was going to motor across Lake Erie, and I was afraid that was going to cost a lot of money. I'm not going to be motoring across Lake Erie, apparently. I'm going to sail because we're going to go ahead and put the sails up and get the stick mounted now. For the $50 he's charging me, it would cost me more in fuel to drive across Lake Erie. So that's a better deal. And then once I get in the canals, it's all downstream. Carl, call out for some hands. It sounds like you need hand to set things up. Sounds like you're going to need hands to set up things. I don't know, Jeff. I think we've got things covered here. Everything that I'm doing is going to be pretty easy to get done. Hey, Ant and Sid. On board already? Yes, sir. I am on board. This is my Cal 229. 1974 Cal 229 with a Perryman diesel on it. I bought for $2,000, guys. I paid $2,000 for the boat. Lawrence gal put outboard on her boat. Performed well. Maybe take backup outboard. Clint, I actually bought an outboard and dinghy yesterday. I drove up to Michigan and picked it up. It's only a 3.3 horsepower, but yes, I would also have that as a backup plan should I need to. Sorry I'm late. Western Oklahoma waving that hand. No problem, man. No problem at all. So yeah, I will have that backup. And I did see what she did. It's a nice setup that she has. In fact, I just got an email from her this morning. She and I are talking. Because we have identical boats, so we can share stories and ideas and thoughts and stuff. Really, her boat is absolutely identical to mine. It's the exact same layout. It's the same diesel engine. It's the same year. It's the same Edison pedestal steering. I don't think she's got an autopilot. I don't know if she has an autopilot. I have an autopilot. So for $2,000, I ended up with an autopilot and a working diesel, and she got a boat without a working diesel and no autopilot for free. Well, for $1. So is a working diesel and an autopilot worth $2,000? Oh hell yeah, yeah, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. That and all my sails are in just about pristine condition. I do have to change out some of the running rigging. The halyards for the mainsail and the foresail both need to be replaced. St. Lawrence Seaway to Maine. That's an idea, Jim. That's an idea. Yeah, that's an idea. I don't know. It's conceivable that I could enter the Erie Canal and then take the Oswego Canal up to Lake Ontario. I know a couple of my viewers, like Chief Has Been, and I think there's another guy that's over on the east end of Ontario. So, yeah, I don't know. That might be a reality. You did well buying a Cal, used to race them, and outstanding performance. Yes, Clint. This is the third Cal that I've owned. I've owned a Cal 30 and a Cal 31, both of which were in substantially better shape than this one. They had the universal diesels on them, and still, this is a fine boat. And I'm going to just take my time. I don't have the money that Aubrey had from selling Miss Lone Star. She went ahead and she changed out all the upholstery. This upholstery on this boat's kind of rough. Not too moldy smelling, but it's kind of rough. This stuff here, this is sort of the original fabric that they put on the walls. It's sort of like a rubber insulated cloth. And on some of the boats that's really moldy, but on this one it's really clean. I'm kind of impressed with how nice and clean and fresh looking it is. And I'm looking around. I mean, it's raining today, and I don't see any indication of any water intrusion anywhere at all, except right there, right up here above me. And that's because the mast isn't up there covering the hole where the wires go down through into the boat. And the mast and the boot isn't up there that protects it. So rainwater is coming in here. That's why you see all this is messed up. But other than that, there's like no, at the windows and stuff, there's no indication of any water coming down, no discolorations in the paint. The only spot that was really bad from a water intrusion standpoint was there on, the step underneath the door through the companionway, and that's because it didn't have a companionway door. So, which is what I just made today. I made a brand new companionway door. Stuff a rag in it. Well, that's not nice, Mike. Oh, you mean... I thought you were being mean to me, telling me to stuff a rag in my mouth. I know I'm a big mouth, but... yeah, I could do that, but we're going to stick the mast on in a day or two. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up there and put a little tape over it. Gramps, you've been busy moving on to the boat, so we're not really up to date. Saw your boat tour. Can you tell us? Oh, super chat goes too quick. Can you tell us what the last your list of priorities are? Are there any major jobs that are showstoppers? Okay, let me address that really quick. The only showstopper at this point right now is if the diesel doesn't run. Here's a story with the diesel. It's a Ferryman A30 diesel. The guy that sold the boat to me has owned this boat for 20 years. He had it completely rebuilt about 7-8 years ago. He used the boat for a year or so after that, a couple years after that, 3 or 4 years after that. And during that time, he figures about 70 hours on the motor. Not even enough, according to the machine shop that did the work on it, not even enough to warrant having its first service yet, because he said you want to have it serviced at 100 hours, and it's not even at its 100 hours yet. It's that freshly rebuilt. But then it sat on the hard for 4 years. It's been sitting in this spot, in this cradle, for the last 4 years. So there's a very definite question about will it run because it's been sitting for so long. So I'm going to, drain the fuel tank. I'm changing. That's why I bought this. I'm changing out the fuel filters, putting in fresh fuel. I bought brand new batteries for it. Going to change out the oil, and then we'll fire it up. It's got a hand crank, so I can get on the front of the engine and just turn the crank and it it turns, it rotates, and the shaft rotates too. Um, so I'm not anticipating that being a problem. The guy selling me the boat was extremely confident that that would not be a problem, that it should just start right up. So we'll see. So we'll see. We won't know until we know. But right now, it's looking like it should be pretty good. Are you near a Harbor Freight store? Decent solar panels kit in a box, odds and ends on the cheap. That would be great, but I just don't have the budget for that right now. Um, don't have very many funds available to me for this. I'm really, guys, I will guarantee you that I am going to be the least funded guy out sailing that you'll probably have ever seen. Roller furler, how many sails? Yes, Clint, there is a roller furler. I think he said there's 5 sails. There's 1 mainsail and 4 different head sails, including a ballooner. So it's going to be interesting to see. And all of those are in bags. And, we didn't pull them out and open up the bags and all, but all the bags look like they're brand new. So lots of sails. He said all the sails are in perfect shape except for the 120. And he thinks the 120 just needs some remedial stitching along the foot, the leading edge of it where the sun gets to it. So we'll have to take a look at that. So I don't know. So the only real big expense for me that I'm concerned about coming up is I have to replace the halyards for the foresail and the mainsail. I have to buy those lines. That's going to be spendy. What else do I need to spend money on? I need to buy a house battery, so that's going to be another 150 or so. I need to set some stuff up inside. I'm thinking about buying a generator. I don't know if I'm going to buy a generator or not, but I'm thinking about buying a generator just so I have power to power up batteries and recharge phones and all that kind of stuff. I need to put a stove in. It had a alcohol stove that is in disrepair. So I think I'm just going to buy a, inexpensive Coleman stove and put that in here for the time being to cook on. It does have a brand new, stainless steel grill to go out on the back rack, so that's cool. What else? I need to build a composting head, which I'll build myself. Composting head, guys, just for those of you that aren't so inclined to know this, simply a plywood box I'm going to build with a bucket in it and throw some media in the bucket to cover up the smell, a little lime and stuff. So you did well. I think your channel will... see, I hate this. Disappears quickly. You did well. I think your channel will grow with watching you fix the boat up. Well, I would think so, Clint. I would think so. Plus, there's a lot of content that I'm going to be making that I don't think any of the other people out there are doing. Nobody is really giving any kind of coverage to the Great Lakes or the canal systems or any of that. And it's a great cruising area. From what I'm finding out, what I'm learning, it's really a very good cruising area. There's just everybody wants to run down to Florida. So, and that's fine. I will run down to Florida eventually, but I don't want to get to Florida until after hurricane season. Which brings me to another thing. All the people that, were scared to death this past summer with their boats on the hard while Irma and all that came through, they all had to interrupt their channel. Why not sail up here? Come up into the Great Lakes and do the circle route or something and get in these waters. You're certainly safe and away from the hurricane, and they could have continued making great content. You don't have to run to South America all the time, Let's see. Thanks, Grandpa. Got any issues starting with PM me? I am an engineer. You have your message details, as they say in the British Navy. Godspeed. Well, thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Where's Lily? Lily's down in the truck right now. Can you explain the numbers on the sales? I heard you mention 120. Yeah, it's 120% coverage, if I remember correctly. They name sales like you have a 120 and you have a 140. And then, you know, you have a storm sail, which is a much smaller sail. It has to do with the, I don't know if it's the square footage of the sail. It may be the actual square footage of the sail, or it may be the percentage in ratio. Um, Fact is, you know, I don't think I ever really researched that. I just know what a 120 is. So you could go back route, go around Michigan to the Mississippi. No one has done that I'm aware of. Yeah, and I thought about that. I could go from, you know, Erie to Superior to Michigan, and then down Illinois and that area. That's a possibility. I mean, really, guys, at this point, the whole thing's wide open for whatever I want to do. I mean, I could go almost anywhere from here. Um, I don't think I'm going to go the Michigan route and around that way. And my reasoning for that is personal. I really, August is going to be my birthday. I'm going to turn 59 years old in August. And I'd kind of like to be in New York for my birthday. I was born and raised in Hempstead, New York on Long Island. I learned to sail in Manhasset Bay there in Port Washington, New York. And it would kind of be a nice thing for me, a nice milestone for me to sail back into there on my own boat. Avoid Superior if you can, seriously cold water. Yeah, Lake Erie is not exactly warm water either. And of course, when you're in a sailboat, it's the temperature of the water. So, I mean, there's some distinct advantages to getting into warm water quickly. 120 is the percentage of the J measurement from mast to forestay. There you go. Thank you, Sid. I knew somebody on here would have the facts, have the actual amount. Okay, so it's the percentage of the J dimension. Now, what's the J dimension? Well, answer that if you would, Sid. I think that's the outside edge of it, isn't it? Because it's not the foot, it's not the leech. I don't know. Maybe you'll come back here and chat and tell us what that is. But I think the J dimension is the long. How do sailors avoid hurricanes? Run back and forth between the Caribbean and the Great Lakes. Yeah, why not, Mike? So many of the cruisers that I'm aware of, you know, so many of the cruisers do a couple different routes, okay? A lot of guys will get on their sailboats, they'll sail the Caribbean in the wintertime and the Mediterranean in the summer. That way they're avoiding hurricane season. Another approach is you sail the Caribbean in the wintertime and you go down to like the Rio or South America or South Central America and get out the hurricane belt. That's another possibility. Of course, you know, hurricane season is summertime when it's hot. Why not run up the East Coast and go up the Hudson River and then, you know, go up the canals and go that route? I don't know why they don't, but it's certainly something's possible. So I don't know. It seems like that would be a logical thing to do. It's called the Great Circle Route is what they call it. And what you can do in New York City, you go up the Hudson River to Troy, New York. You get onto the Erie Canal. You travel the Erie Canal from east to west, ending up in Lake Erie, or you get out the Oswego up onto Lake Ontario. Okay, so the front at the bottom at the forestay. Okay. So you can get up into Ontario, or you can come straight into Lake Erie. Then you could go around Superior and Michigan and then into Illinois. And then there's a canal system over there and a river system that then dumps you back into the Mississippi, down the Mississippi into the Gulf of Mexico. It's a fun, interesting route. You know, you don't have to go to Europe to do any canal type boating. You can do that right here in the good old US of A. So I plan on making a lot of coverage about that and seeing if we can't get some folks interested in that. So. Oh, and by the way, there was a fella, I wanted to comment. There was a fella that helped me out this morning and jumped on and donated to my PayPal account. Sir, thank you very much. In fact, you bought the plywood that's used to enclose the companionway. So I wanted to thank you for that. I don't know if you're watching, but I really appreciate that because that's where the funds went to. I like Northeast Sailing. Caribbean is a scam now. Can't anchor out without 2 or 3 boats wanting money to anchor. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on, Clint. Recently read Adrift, 76 Days Lost at Sea by Steve Callahan, a real classic. Yes, it is. From sails forestay to mast measurement, forestay to mast equals 100%, 120%, 20% going back, past the mast larger. Yes, okay. And that's what I thought it was, Mark. It's from the forestay to the mainsail mast. and a 120 goes 20% further past that, and a 140 goes back even further. That's kind of the way I always thought of it. But I didn't know that for a fact. So now we know. There's the official rules, guys. There's the official rules. So correct. All right, good deal. Good deal. Glad to know that. So what else is going on? Right now, I'm just trying to take a break. I'm cooling off. In fact, I'm cooling off too much. I'm actually starting to get cold on the boat. I pulled off my hoodie because I was hot earlier, and now it's covered with sawdust. And of course, it's all damp from me wearing it before and sweating and getting in the rain. So I don't think I want to put that back on. Oh well. I'll have to get down to the truck. Fortunately, I brought extra coats with me. It actually kind of quit raining while we're talking here, so it's not too bad right at the moment. And I got my companionway door. What else am I going to do today? I don't know if I'm going to carry that battery up here or not today. That's a lot of weight. And I have all my tools with me. I was going to carry them here. And I have my outboard and my dinghy, and I was thinking about carrying that up here now that I can secure the door just to get them out of my truck so I have more room for all the rest of my stuff. But I don't know. Yeah, I better do that because I'm going to need the room. I can't afford the gas, keep driving back up and forth between here and Lancaster. So, well, we shall see. I missed something here. Correct. Spot on, Mark. Better description than us. Okay, good. Any trouble with pirates? Well, not here in the boatyard. Not here in the marina. In fact, here in the marina, things have been absolutely awesome. We don't have pirates on the Great Lakes, and we don't have pirates on the canals and the Hudson River. Well, you know, West Marine is a pirate, if you ask me, with their prices. But, you know, no one's going to take guns and come on board and try to steal anything from me here, especially on my scruffy-looking old boat. I would not be exactly a good target for somebody if they actually wanted money, because don't have any. But when you get out in the salt, you might run into more of that kind of stuff. Out in the salt water, especially certain areas around the planet, you know, there's some concerns, but nothing in the areas where I'm going to be sailing anytime in the near future. So not something that I have even thought about in all the things that I've been thinking about. When will you be full-time living on the boat? Digging your excitement. Sunny said up, Papa. Thanks, Captain Cruiser. Clint, I think we may splash the boat tomorrow or the next day. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping we splash the boat tomorrow or the next day. The sooner the better for me. And then once the boat is splashed, then I'm going to move aboard. Let's see, what was that? Do you know how to rig a lazy boy rig to lift your kit onto the boat from the boom? I do, Sid, but hold on a minute. There's my boom. My boom is up in, I mean, I'm literally sitting on it right now. It's right here under my butt. We don't have the mast stepped right now. So the boom doesn't do me any good whatsoever, and I can't rig anything to it because it's sitting here in the V-berth. So, yeah, once we get out of the V-berth, then we can do some stuff with it. But no, not at the moment. Okay, good deal. Yeah, I can't believe how dry I am. I run a 155 racing. Oh, that's a lot of sail. Yeah, that's a big sail. Yeah, the 155s, you know, some guys even run like 170s. I mean, that's just crazy. Hope you video the splash. My boatyard I use has a sign says no cash, no splash. Yeah, I don't. These guys are really laid back. I don't think they're worrying about it, and they're only charging me $50 to put it in the water. So that's not a problem. Although my Google AdSense money, when I get paid by Google AdSense, so the money from Super Chat and the money from the advertisements running on my channel, they get deposited into my bank account up in Alaska. Well, apparently I used my Alaska credit card here in Ohio They mailed me a letter about it, and I didn't respond to the letter quick enough because I'm in Ohio. I didn't even get the letter. Apparently, they mailed it to my old address up in Alaska, and so they canceled my card on me. So I have no access to any of that money, which has created a bit of a short-term crunch for me. I can get to my PayPal funds, but I can't get to that. So I'm highly motivated right now. I guess they're going to go ahead and ship me a new card, and that's one of the things I'm kind of waiting for. I'm waiting for the impellers that I ordered to come in for the motor, and I'm going to have to get a new card issued. And so I have to kind of sit and wait for that so I have access to my funds. I don't know why the banks do that. I told them I was going to be in Ohio. They knew I was going to be here. The girl said it was even noted on the account that I was going to be in Ohio. But sure enough, they saw the charges coming through in Ohio when they thought I was in Alaska, and they canceled the card thinking somebody was doing something fraudulent. So they are a pain in the butt. They really are. They're a pain in the butt. So. Oh, we have a blade, high aspect ratio, modern race rig. Getting this, that's cool. Oh, everything's coming fast. I remember your episode coming from Alaska to Ohio, hotel in Canada. Pirates broke into your truck, damn pirates. Well, that's true, Country Cruiser. I did have pirates up in Canada. That's very true. I have a lot of used boat parts from the past 45 years of sailing. If you need a part, let me know. Okay. What is Super Chat? Mike, if you're looking at your screen and you're not on a cell phone, there's a little dollar sign down in that corner underneath where you type your comments. That's Super Chat. You can click on that and donate money to help out with stuff. A lot of folks tend to like doing that. So, hey, Rick Stevens. Hey, Carl, use your bucket to hand over hand your tools up, etc. Bit of a chore, but better, safer than carrying up a ladder. Yeah, Rick, that's exactly what I was figuring on doing. I'm sitting on it right now. There's my new companionway door I made today. I did film it. I filmed it all with my little GoPro camera, and so I'll edit that as soon as I have some time and put that together so you guys can watch some of that. I never know about the camera angle on this because it mounts on my head, and I'm never sure this is aimed up high or low or whatever, so it may not be the best footage, but it'll be what it'll be. And we'll try to put that together and upload that here soon so you guys can see me cutting this. I actually cut this out with a Sawzall. I don't have a circular saw right now. Left all those up in Alaska. So I had to cut this out with a Sawzall. So it was a little rough cutting it, especially since all I had was a demolition blade on the Sawzall. I didn't have a fine-tooth blade. So it kind of tore up the plywood pretty good. But it's just a temporary piece on there just to keep the thieves and the bugs out for the time being. So it'll work. Once I get someplace further along where I've got access to better materials, some better wood, like some mahogany ply or some teak ply, then I'll get some of that and I'll redo the companionway into something that looks nice, and then I'll urethane it and, protect it and do something more permanent. This is only just something temporary in there to last me a couple months. Should have looked in the shed. My dad is in there. If you need tools, look for a pawn shop. Should have looked in the shed. My dad's is in there. Hey, Johanna, how you doing? Your dad's saw is in there? Oh, I wasn't going to take your saw to go up here and do this anyway. If you need tools, look for a pawn shop. Yep, that's always a good idea. Yep. Okay. Yes, I see. Okay. Huh. Why not? Because it was your dad's. It's not mine. I had a Sawzall. It was fine. My Sawzall worked just fine. I have skills. I mean, look at how straight the lines are. I mean, it's a little bit of a urple right here, but I can cut a pretty darn straight line with a Sawzall by hand. So, not perfect, but it's okay for fitting in the slot for the companionway. What I need to do now, I've got a sander. It's out in my truck. I got to get a sander and sand all the edges, remove all the splinters and burrs and stuff. But it'll work. It'll work for the time being. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this here. I need to get this put in the doorway, and I guess I need to start figuring out some way, get a rope down and schlep all the rest of that stuff up here. I kind of don't want to... I really don't want to bring that stuff up here until I have the boat in the water. It'll be a lot easier putting it on the boat, and it won't be in my way if I have to quickly get to a through hole or something. Guess I have to work out the logistics of that. But anyhow, guys, let's go ahead and end this here. I'm going to jump off. I appreciate everybody listening and hanging out. If you would, please do like and subscribe. Actually, you know, for those of you guys that are my fans that really want to help me out, if you really want to do something, try sharing my video. You know, share it on your Facebook, share it with other people, see if we can get more people to come on and subscribe and grow the party a little bit. That would be the biggest help for me if you could do that right now. I really need to start growing my subscription rates and all that. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. You guys all take good care of yourself. Mary, we'll see you later. You guys all be good and be careful. And please do take good care of one another. We'll see you later, guys. Bye.